Hello and welcome to the Bel-E Scratch podcast. I'm your host, Bel-E.
And I am your co-host, Scratch.
And today, I am 2 steps away from becoming Brain Stew.
Brain Stew.
Just like the song.
Just like the song.
Yeah.
Brain Stew.
Yeah.
Sure that's not earwax leaking out your ears there?
No. Brain
That's
Stew.
cerumen.
Yeah, Brain Stew, to me, that song basically sounds like you're having a really bad hangover. Or you're strung out high on drugs.
Sure.
It's what the lyrical content of it, that's what it sounds like to me. But at any rate, I didn't do anything crazy this weekend, not really.
Try to pack too much knowledge in your noggin at one time.
Yeah.
That's all right. That happens.
No, this shit like that keeps happening. I don't mean the whole packing knowledge in a whole bunch of knowledge in one sitting. It's probably why I was probably not, it was probably a contributing factor as why I wasn't a very chill person in high school.
Uh-huh.
As part of it, I will admit, I was not a good person in high school. I pretended to be, but I wasn't. Basically this weekend...
High school will do that to you.
Yeah. It was just too... for someone who's on the spectrum, it was too loud, it was too bright. I had very little in common with anyone outside the 2 to 3 people I actually did talk to. I hadn't discovered yoga...
True.
That was a big turning point in my life.
That was a big turning point. I remember specifically that was a big
I specifically remember that was the turning point. For that, I was wound tight.
You were.
Like a stopwatch with too much caffeine.
Like a snake getting ready to strike all the time.
Yeah. And then you got me to do an hour's worth of yoga, and it done fucked me up.
That's
I was
right.
like, oh, yeah, this was what was missing in my life. I'm
unspooled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to this day, I'm never going to not do yoga. I don't do it regularly.
Same here.
But I do it all the same.
Yep.
Anyway, to cut things short, there's better things to talk about, so I just want to go through this really quick. The only thing super big this past weekend was just I took an art workshop. Yay! Trying to better myself.
You're so creative.
Yes,
You're so artistic.
I try to be. And I am. If that pile of stuff over there that I want to put in tracing paper is anything to say.
Sure.
But, mostly just because I pack everything into the damn portfolio folder over there. So, it was the polymer clay class, which is something new.
Polymer clay?
Specifically polymer clay.
So you didn't dig
it wasn't. No, it was not
wet
ceramics.
Clay out of a big 55-gallon trash can?
No, it was not ceramics.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it would be ceramics. I wanted it to be ceramics because that's actually something I want to get into. Because I just have this obsession of, hey, I want to make my own fucking cutlery and cups and plates. Because...
Tableware.
Yeah, I want to make my own tableware. Why?
I think I made an ashtray. I think that was the extent.
But you understand what I mean. Like, I don't want to go buy shit. I want to make it. That way it's more specialer.
More specialer.
Yeah.
Yep.
So...
Yep.
And if anything comes out looking butt ugly, I can just call it abstract and move on with my life.
That's a good point.
Indeed. So basically, the polymer.
Anybody that criticizes it, you can just browbeat them into, oh, don't you understand the artistic expression that is taking place?
That is actually the one. That's actually one of the few downsides of going back into the art world that I know I'm going to run into, and I kind of sort of ran into it a couple weeks ago. But I'll get to that. Long story short, the polymer clay class, it was more of like jewelry making, and you saw the necklace I came home with the raven skull.
Did you make that raven skull?
I made the raven skull.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't make... Well, I knotted the necklace part, and I put the beads in it. I now have a new technique for when I make necklaces, because on the side, I make jewelry for myself, so... That's something, what I learned in this class will be incorporated, so that was worth the price of entry.
All right.
The problem I had was the teacher. she was not cruel, but she was a very nice person. She wasn't a bad person, but she, for someone like me who was completely new to the medium, she probably could have handled it a lot better. Like, she probably could have had everyone, have a sheet of instructions, and she could have started the workshop with, okay, we're going to start by making the head of an owl, and this is how you do this move, and this is how you process this clay in this way. This is how you make this gradient pattern. I know what the fuck you're talking about now.
Right.
But I can't remember the terminology. It's been 2 days. Or it's literally been a day. So,
that's the difference between application.
Yeah.
She's teaching you artistic
expression. She just kind of let us...
Pottery is known for its daily application.
Correct.
Plates, cups, bowls,
ashtrays,
vases, ashtrays.
Yeah, that has... That has...
And then you walk in and they say, okay, this is how to make the head of an owl.
Yeah, for jewelry oriented, which I don't mind. Like I said, I make jewelry for myself on the side.
Oh, you stepped into an advanced class.
No, I didn't.
Well, I would imagine
No. What happened was it said for beginners.
Well,
but 2 out of the 4 people in there had already had clay-oriented workshops before.
Right.
The thing that I had a problem with is I prefer like a checklist of instructions when it comes to something new. Like, do this in this order, and this is how you achieve blank. She just let us do it freestyle.
Just let you run.
Yeah, she just let us run. But the problem is, I don't know how to run. I can barely crawl. That's why I felt a lot better about today. Yesterday was just a drag. It had its big ups and downs. I was about ready to walk out of there and burn the place to the ground. Today it was better because I had a vaguer idea of, what to do. So that all's well that ends well. I'm just not going to take her classes no more. You see?
I got you.
We just didn't click. I mean, she wasn't mean to me or anything. I wasn't mean to her. I was just like, can I get somebody else? If I was more advanced, I would appreciate the free-form nature of it, but as a beginner, no. Hold my hand, woman. Just don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it was kind of a little...
Well, I mean, I've been there where I don't... I've seen people that are so advanced in what they do, they don't have the ability to break it down.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean they're not good at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They just, not... it takes a certain kind of teacher to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And not everybody has that ability.
No.
They really don't.
Yeah,
People that are experienced in it will take things for granted. And this is no slam on them.
No.
They just, because if they realized it, they'd be better teachers, but they don't realize it.
That's just kind of what happened. I mean, I am going to continue going to that specific center for creativity. It's not museum related. I thought it was museum related, but no, apparently the local museum isn't offering art classes because the fucking beer flu keeps having every other mutation on the planet Earth. I swear to God, in 2 to 3 months, they're going to...
beer flu.
Yeah, the 2 to 3 months, they're going to discover a strain of the beer flu that induces leprosy, and then I'll start laughing at people.
That's a very interesting observation because...
Please tell me they didn't discover the leprosy strain.
Not physically, but socially, maybe.
I was about to say, like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I get it. The whole corona bullshit, it is real.
It is real.
Because you, as a person in the medical field, have seen it.
Yes. Yes, it is real.
Yeah, it's real. It's not a hoax.
No, it isn't.
How it came to become a global panini, that's vaguely up for debate, but I don't want to talk about it. Anyway.
Right.
But it's a real thing. It's not some bullshit that they made up just to scare people into going indoors. No, it's real. But the problem is that...
Yeah.
I can't imagine what the fuck just the social aspect of it's gonna affect. decades down the line.
Oh, it's going to be very interesting to read about this in the future.
Oh, I know.
And they're going to say things that it blows me.
They're going to say some crazy shit that went down and didn't went down, or they're going to cover some crazy shit up that did went down. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, that's not a conspiracy theory.
No.
That's when you live long enough. I've done it.
How so?
Well, they just they teach you certain things. When I was a kid, well, it's like science is constantly changing.
But that's the nature of science. It changes.
It changes. Okay. They teach some things, and then 40 years later, they'll say those things were not true.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
That's okay because that's the nature of science. Anyone who clings to old notions of science, like hypothetically, they replaced a link in the chain of evolution, for example.
And then there's
then there's like a community of scientists who are like, you can't change that on these principles, and they won't look at the studies and they won't look at the peer reviews. Hey, guess what? That's not science at that point. You know what that's called?
Being a shill.
Well, yeah, being a shill. But you know what else it's called?
What?
That's called faith.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of...
When a scientist just will not change...
Well, okay, let's look at it like this.
That's not a scientist anymore.
Let's look at the ideologies related to the origin of human beings.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
One main question I got is, what effing difference does it make?
How so?
You understand?
What do you mean?
Who cares? Who cares how we got here? Who cares? Who cares?
Anthropologists.
Well, I'm just saying, what is the application to our lives that is so significant that we need to beat each other over the head for it? That's all I'm saying.
I think part of it is, I think, now here's the thing. I'm looking at this from the side of, hopeful prospects and not just power grabbing. But I would like to think that, all of this looking into the past and trying to find and develop ways of tracking where we've been it kind of relates to that saying of those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Well, maybe, because of all the crazy shit about, this one society had this great and powerful city, and then at some point they all just fucked off and they're not here no more.
They all just left.
Yeah, or they either just left or they all died, and we want to know how they left or died.
And I grew up listening to the whole, especially here in North America, civilizations that existed a thousand years before anybody from Europe arrived.
Sure.
Or wherever.
Or wherever, yeah.
It's, I'm not trying to, to me, people are, they'll choose friends or who cares? And it's a subject that I find obnoxiously interesting.
Sure.
Okay. Because I believe there's, especially here in North America, I've said and you know this, I've said for years, why do we know more about what's buried, what's to exist here in North America?
Yeah.
Why do I know more about what's buried in Egypt than I know what's buried here in North America? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That annoys me.
True. I think a lot of it has to do with, now, I'm going to tell you this. There's probably more than one reason.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Part of it is some of it is, still on native land and they don't exactly have permission to dig there because that's probably somebody's great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents under that rock over there, A lot
of the history of North America is buried deep in national parks.
Yes.
They have nationalized these pieces of property. So people will stay out of them and not dig.
Mm-hmm.
The Grand Canyon's that way.
Yeah. There's a conspiracy that there's like a hidden city down there.
There is here in the Southeast. There are examples of mound builders.
Mm-hmm.
That.
And there are also like shit about Appalachian giants and stuff.
Those are I've heard that stuff, but I
Sure.
really what I think quote unquote the giants are is just that there was a people that lived here that
they died.
no, the rivers and the streams and the forests were teeming with life, and so they ate and they grew large.
They just happened to grow larger than every fucking body else.
They just happened to be large people.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually kind of the same.
I mean, if you look at our society today,
sure.
Countries that are less affluent. Oh, look at the size of people in North America.
Yeah.
Everybody's huge.
Indeed.
Okay, because there's an affluence to prosperity or having a lot of resources. So at one time, the level of resources on this North American continent was completely unbridled, and people ate and they lived and they grew into large people. There was plenty of land. There was plenty to eat.
I've actually heard, now I'm not 100% sure how, if this does correlate to that whole thing, about how at one point the oxygen density on the planet was about somewhere in the neighborhood of 200% more than it is currently.
I read that too.
Something about increased oxygen is why you see all this
higher levels of oxygen.
Yeah, and it's part of the reason why you see all this giant shit in museums like megalodons and the super snakes.
That's how they explain away prehistoric creatures.
Yeah, why they're so fucking huge.
Why we are told about dinosaurs and that sort of thing. They'll tell you that the oxygen content during that time was much higher. I don't, and I understand that. You know.
That's fine.
And that's fine. But whatever's going on today, I mean, I don't have any impact on that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of another. This is actually kind of funny. I've been thinking about this for a couple of days. This is something that, like I said, I've been pondering. It's, I don't know. It's this weird thing, and this might feed into the nihilism that is just this perpetual haze that I keep running into.
Yeah.
About how, about how people, like, in terms of, like, the earth and the environment, just kind of segue into it. How they're talking about, it's like, hey, talking to either a celebrity or like this one person of power in the government somewhere on the planet, and they're like, why don't you fix it? We elected you, or you got put in office because you'd fix the problem. What the fuck do you think they're going to do?
Yeah, what do you think they're going to do?
That's
what gets me about people. If it was something that could be...
If it was like a light switch...
Yeah. Somebody would have thrown it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
look, I'm not saying that change isn't possible. I'm just looking at these situations where it's like, you said you would fix A, but instead you're not even trying to fix A. What the fuck do you think what do you want them to do? Yes, I know what you want them to do, but they're just one person.
Yeah. Sure.
Or kind of a closer example, or even...
I think people put too much... they're politicians, okay?
Yeah.
And all politicians spin.
Sure.
I don't want to say lie, although they do. Technically, what they say is a lie.
Sure.
But they tell people what they want to hear.
No, I get it.
And they tell people their true intentions. Hey, if I'm elected, I am going to address this. And then they get into office and realize that it's
significantly harder
than just getting up out of bed and showing up for work on time.
Or they made a bunch of promises to people before they got elected, and now they got to keep them, or they think they got to keep them.
Well, they don't. They don't think they got it. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on where you come from.
Sure.
Okay.
No, I mean the people who paid for the campaign. I would say probably 20% or less of actual representatives that truly represent the people that that elected them. Sure.
Okay. So. And they're usually the ones that are always in the news because they will buck the trend, or they'll buck the majority of their group because their constituents at home don't agree with the majority of the group they're involved in.
Oh. Sure.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I get it.
But it takes a good politician to get into office and
actually do what they say they're going to do.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't think, people make promises based on, I always think about, and this might be a bit of a segue, but I always think about the death of Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Yeah.
The death of FDR toward the end of World War II. And, and then Harry Truman is he's
like day 1 or 2 in the office.
He's moved up to the presidency, and then they come in the room and drop the Manhattan Project on his desk, and he didn't have the slightest idea. And for you uninformed kids out there, the Manhattan Project, somehow, for crying out loud, the Manhattan Project was the effort to create an atomic bomb that could be dropped out of an airplane. Not a dirty bomb, but something that could be harnessed. That was the hardest thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fact they can do atomic explosions in a lab or a city or anything like that. But to be able to...
in a controlled environment.
Exactly, in a controlled environment. But the key ability was to be able to package it in a way that you could put it in an object or a projectile, and you could take it somewhere and plant it, drop it, whatever.
Hence what happened to Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Exactly. And so, Truman didn't have these. And, think about it, okay? It's basically, intellectually, it's like a caveman and somebody shows up with shows them an electric lamp.
Yeah.
Or battery-powered flashlight. It is so far outside the scope of his existence. Mm-hmm. He had no clue that something like this was not only existed, but was in the final stages of preparation.
I bet he about damn near shit himself.
Well, I'm just saying. I think that's a big part of.
Look, if someone breaks into my house and runs up to me and hands me a banana and a shotgun, I'd be terrified.
A banana and a shotgun.
I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Shotgun Banana. It sounds like a cool punk rock group.
Probably. I don't know. I kind of like the Piss Hydrants better.
Piss Hydrants.
That's a punk rock band right there.
So there are things that we are introduced to,
Yeah.
It's like I think of the majority of these UFOs are nothing but military. For these.
Mulder didn't die for this slander. Fuck you talking about?
Yeah, these stealth fighters and these stealth bombers.
Mm-hmm.
They existed for at least 30 to 40 years.
Before we even had an idea.
That they were up there.
Hell, even the majority of inventions, like modern day inventions that we, the civilians, have, it was military use before it even got into our hands.
Yeah. Well, look at Space Force. Everything started with Star Wars with Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, the Death Star plans.
And everybody's like, oh, it's such a... No, it was successful, and now it's classified.
Yeah.
So they tell you that it didn't work, but they won't talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know how...
And now they got the Space Force, which everybody made a big deal out of.
I don't know at what point we're about to have the 40K Space Marines, but it will happen.
It will happen. It's going to happen. Look at Elon Musk, for crying out loud. This dude's trying to colonize Mars. Does he have a shot?
Fuck if I know.
But you know what? He's got a plan. Mm-hmm. Who else has got a plan?
Yeah. The only thing the main thing that I don't want, the main thing that I worry about all of these moon colonies and like Martian colonies is that if it basically turns into there's this thing happening. I know it's happening with Amazon. I'm not sure if it's happening with Tesla, although I don't think it's out of Papa Musk's umbrella.
He's working on the cryptocurrency. We'll talk about that.
I know Papa Musk is working the cryptocurrency.
No, he's working on a Tesla.
Oh,
crypto. We'll talk.
We'll talk about that in a minute, hopefully. But you know what a mining town is.
Yes.
And they still exist to a degree.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so Amazon is basically having an Amazon version of a mining town, getting that shit together. And that's fucking terrifying to me.
How so?
Okay, so in a mining town, every fucking person is either a miner or is like working for the mine, or like in like the general store, which is also technically
the mine is the economic engine of that town.
Yeah,
yes.
they are. They are.
You might work in a restaurant, but that restaurant's there to feed people associated with the mine.
And if I remember, there was this one book in high school. I actually did really like it. It was about this dude who grew up in a mining town, and he eventually became a NASA engineer because he and a bunch of his buddies kept blowing shit up on this concrete platform in the middle of fucking woods because they were trying to make rockets and shit.
Sure.
Which is cool.
It happened when I was a kid.
Yeah, and I remember reading in that book that a lot of the general store and some of the restaurants, basically places that weren't the mine,
right,
you could pay in cash or these credits you would get from the mine, from like doing work there.
Okay. Sure.
That to me is like defining a mining town. Is not only you can pay in cash and you can pay in like the in-town credit. The in-town currency.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, you can create your own local currency. You can.
And it's somehow not illegal.
As long as you don't try to counterfeit North American currency.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Please don't. I don't want.
As long as
I don't want Scully on my doorstep.
But literally, I'm serious. You can go out and print your own Bel-E Scratch bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get a community that will adopt, I mean, it's all on.
It's basically crypto.
It's all fiat currency anyway.
Sure,
it's
of course.
Based, I mean, it's based on. Once again, we come back to, okay, you don't want to believe that in the existence of believers. That's fine, but do you understand that your currency application is all faith?
Exactly.
If you have faith that it has value, and that's what's happening in the crypto market.
Yeah.
If you have faith that it has value,
then it will.
There is no difference between the crypto market and the dollars of the countries of North America.
Exactly.
Okay?
It's faith-based.
It is all faith-based.
This is why I say that the Forex market is basically all of these countries playing chicken with each other.
Pretty much.
And they're all too shit scared to point at each other and go, your currency's fucking fake! And then they have to realize, wait, my currency's fake too.
My currency's fake too.
Yeah.
That's right. We're all a part of the same hypocrisy.
Yeah. Politics is basically saying something is one way and pretending it isn't.
Well,
or when we know it actually isn't. It's just like, why can't we be honest with each other? Except we can't be honest because then people get pissed off, and then you wonder why
scared.
they get scared and
stampede the herd.
Fuck.
Stampede the herd.
I'm just mildly upset for no damn reason.
Yay.
Sure, whatever. So basically, Amazon is trying to make their version of a mining town where the Amazon distribution warehouse is the economic epicenter of these places.
Oh, yeah.
That fucking terrifies me.
Why is that?
Because Amazon pays like shit and treats their workers like dog shit.
Sounds like Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. Except Walmart ain't trying to fucking do that.
Oh.
Not yet.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about a company like Amazon.
Yeah.
There is, and I say this about Walmart.
Sure.
These companies are so big. I mean, what is Bezos worth? Like $100 million?
Yeah, probably.
You know, it's him and Musk, and they're all having the pissing contest about who's got the most money. You know, and
except I like Elon better.
Elon Musk probably. I mean, based on if you're going to measure worth.
Sure.
Based on quantity.
Sure.
I would imagine Musk has, so far as property.
Indeed.
And employees and the size of his company, probably has. Is Is it more than 10% of what Bezos controls?
I don't fucking know.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't keep track of
Look
these
how
people.
look how big Amazon is. Everybody goes, "Oh, Jeff Bezos, he stepped down." Yeah, sure he did.
Yeah, sure he did.
Sure he did. Okay, legally and on paper he stepped down, but if you don't think he's got a hand on what's going on,
Indeed.
you're looking stupid.
Indeed. And here's the thing.
And
here's the thing. In terms of these like super multi-billionaires, like the pissing contest between Bezos and Musk.
yeah.
Here's the thing. Musk may be a complete shitheel, but at least he doesn't look like Dr. Evil. So he gets that one from me.
He does look like Dr.
Yeah,
Evil.
Jeff Bezos is not only does he look like Dr. Evil when he did his own little space exploration, he literally sent a dick into space. That is Austin Powers to a T.
That's a really good point.
Motherfucker. And he laughs evil too. If you've ever seen footage of it, it's like, oh fuck. Yeah, seriously. It's uncanny.
Is he that nerd that's all pissed off because nobody liked him?
Probably. No one still likes him.
No one still likes him.
That's the
all
thing.
right.
Money doesn't change shit.
He's got $1 billion pork chop around his neck. It's the only way the dogs will play with it.
Exactly.
Nerd.
He's got that Wagyu.
Yeah, he just happened to be the person that transitioned from the Walmart style store mercantile to the internet. And that's
and
it.
I can respect that.
But what I'm saying about Musk is more of an idea guy.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
You know, and I find it interesting, all these people trying to slam Musk, but I would imagine that Musk is probably on the forefront of electric vehicles,
ultimately,
longer term energy batteries for electric vehicles and stuff like that.
No, I get that. I just wish we would find a more efficient way of doing it. Like just a couple months ago, we wasn't it your gearhead friend who told us that solar panels are actually not up to snuff as they're making it out to be?
Oh,
the process of them making it.
It creates, from what I've heard, from this friend of mine, who would know?
Who would know? He is a gearhead.
He's a gearhead. He's a tinker, and I don't use that term tinker very often.
But that's
you don't see these types of people anymore. Tinkers are people like Thomas Edison, and Nikola Tesla. Those are tinkers.
Yeah, they
inventors. And this guy is a tinker.
Yeah.
And so when fixes
a mechanical kidney on the regular.
When he says, when people like that say what he said, I pay attention. Mm-hmm. You know, some fat moulignon like myself talking about stuff like that. I technically don't know. I mean, you know.
Mm-hmm. And you don't know either.
So I keep my mouth shut about stuff like that.
Exactly.
But when someone like him says those types of things, I do pay attention. I really do.
Yeah, it's like when you listen to your martial arts instructor talk shit about another style. It's like, yeah, he probably would know.
Probably.
Yeah. So which kind of sucks because I was never big into windmills because they keep fucking killing the birds and the bats.
Birds and bats.
Yeah.
You know what's so crazy about all the windmills, and we could go on a long run on this, but
I don't want to.
Most of the windmills that we drove past when we were on the West Coast were owned by a company from another country. They were not even owned by businesses.
I fucking hate everything.
You understand what I'm saying? It's so stupid. It's so crazy.
Look, I am wrapped in this weird blanket of nihilism that I am trying to keep out as hard as I can. Like, to the point where yesterday I was nearly crushed into the floor. When what had happened was after the first day of the little art workshop, my brain had been melted because I had, I knew I was going to get angry. I knew I was going to get upset. But I didn't expect it to liquefy my cerebral cortex. So I am basically, I basically just kind of wait around I tried to wait around for about 2 hours till I could meet up with some folks to do this whole sip wine and paint thing, which no one fucking showed up to that apparently. So I guess I saved myself the trouble. But basically, at some point, I kind of ran out of spoons, as it were.
Ran out of spoons.
I ran out of spoons.
You have used that phrase a couple of times this past week. What does that mean? Something
It
other
means
than what I'm
something.
thinking?
Okay.
Like I need to wash the dishes.
No.
In the dishwasher?
No.
Explain to me that.
Okay.
I'm curious.
I do not remember the source of the term "run however many spoons you have" or "run out of spoons." I picked it up from my ex. Because it just kind of fit him, and I was like, I kind of respect that. Basically, spoons. I don't. Like I said, I don't know the origin of where it comes from.
He was a military guy.
Yeah, he was a military guy. No, this
Sounds
is
like
not military related.
I know,
I
but
do
the
not
saying sounds military.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So basically, what spoons are in this context is, let's just say spoons equate to the amount of physical, mental, and spiritual energy you have. You wake up in the morning. It is Monday. You're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Maybe.
Possibly. Let's just pretend for once this is.
Whee!
Yeah, let's just pretend this is.
It's a Monday.
Yeah, let's just pretend.
All right.
So,
I can do that.
you have, by the end of the workday, you're tired.
Yes.
You're worn out. You're just mentally drained.
Yes.
Probably spiritually agitated at some point.
Obviously.
You come home and you just want to relax. You just want to relax and maybe go to bed.
Veg.
You don't want to veg.
Yeah, you want a veg.
You ran out of spoons.
Okay.
There's basically what I mean by spoons is there's only so much time, effort, and energy I have on a given day or given moment that I'm willing to partake into something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like after the workshop yesterday, I was just mentally drained and I just was tired and I didn't have the capacity to go get drunk and paint.
Okay.
In public.
Yeah.
I can do that shit at my house. But this
Right.
was like with friends, but like I said, no one showed up, so I didn't miss anything.
Woo.
So, and I was at this bar waiting around before I realized I just needed to go home. And two things occurred. One kind of collapsed into number two somehow. It was this weird moment of this moment of clarity. That led into an even bigger moment of clarity.
Hot damn.
At this bar, I decided to get like a glass of this there cactus juice cider, not the psychedelic kind.
Damn it.
Yeah, if it was the psychedelic kind, I would have said, "How the fuck are you selling this? I'll take 10."
Right.
So, wanted to repeat that joke.
Sure.
It was sitting at like 5.5 alcohol content, and I was just sipping on it, eating my pretzel, because this place has some good pretzel. And this guy, if I can say anything about this place, it's got good fried pretzels and beer cheese. It's just,
Ooh.
Yeah. Apparently, they mix their cheese with PBR. That's what makes it good.
Hipster cheese.
Yeah. Apparently, here's
you
the
must have
thing.
hated that.
No. Here's the
it's
thing.
good. It's good.
Here's the thing. PBR by itself is trash, but apparently it makes really good beer cheese. Faux show.
All right.
Like, I'm not fucking with you. Like, I would take you down there and be like, "Here, have this," and it'd be amazing. So, there's your secret recipe.
All right.
And I'm sitting there. I finished the meal and the drink, and I'm just sitting there, and I had this realization of that drink was about 5% alcohol, or 5% alcohol content, which is normally what I do drink.
Right.
And it's not doing anything.
Okay.
And that spooked me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I typically, when I drink alcohol, I don't go higher than 12%. If I go 12%, that it's usually like something backwoods, like a Four Loko or something. Yeah, you know that. Yeah, you know that vibe. I don't do it often, but that's about my max. You know,
I did have a Four Loko phase.
Yeah, hey, look, I like the green.
It was a great run, but the crash was awful.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I like the green apple Four Loko.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Because I don't, and I don't drink that stuff often. I don't need to get drunk and go fast. I don't need a repeat of the Cabo root incident.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So, and then when I drank this cactus juice alcohol and I realized that I wasn't tipsy, it spooked me. And I was like, oh God, did I just adjust? And then somehow that collapsed into this fucking weight of crushing loneliness on top of me.
Right.
I looked around. I'm like the only person at this joint that wasn't talking to someone or hanging out with their friends or hanging out with their date or hanging out with somebody, whatever. I was by myself.
Yeah.
And it just hit me like a stack of bricks, about nearly dropped me into the floor. And I was like, oh, I gotta go home. I gotta go home. I can't be here anymore. Close my tab out.
Yeah.
Yeah, got home. That's kind of partially that was kind of a partial reason why yesterday I was kind of jacked out of shape. It wasn't just because I was frustrated because of the whole workshop. I was just like, I don't have any friends.
Right.
Well, who people I consider friends.
Right.
Like I would want.
Well, honestly and truly, you're still kind of recovering from your last.
I don't want to talk about it.
Your last. And you can't let that.
When I got hazed.
You can't let.
Yeah. Oh
you
no.
can't let that stop
that's,
you.
Yeah. That's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where
Make friends and boyfriends, and then you understand that.
I basically got fucking hazed. That's true. I didn't think about that.
I guess. Well, when it comes to group dynamics and hanging out with a particular group, I would imagine that's par for the course. I never experienced that because I really didn't hang out with a group on a regular basis.
No,
that was cohesive.
Well, here's the thing. I can't even imagine the type of situation you would be in where it's like, say, a person that you became friends with introduced you to a gal, and then like a couple months later steals the gal back from you. You would kick that dude's ass if you were my age.
I would have definitely thought about it.
Yeah. And I almost did it.
Right.
That's why back then I was talking about.
Well, you get to the point where you're like, okay, this is personally insulting, but do I want to go to jail over this piece of shit?
That was the only reason. The only reason I didn't. The only reason I didn't try to seek out revenge was because of shit like that.
And your basic programming,
sure,
that you receive from the matriarch and myself, is that people who do that to other people get their karma or comeuppance or whatever.
Rotten fruit falls on its own.
Rotten fruit falls on its own.
Yeah.
So, but if you had not been raised with that understanding, you would have whooped some ass.
Oh, you know how the matriarch can get when she's been vindictive.
Why no? Whatever do you mean?
I can taste the sarcasm. I'm not gonna lie, when all that stuff was, before the dust had settled and all that was still whirling around, that spirit, I had to, there was like a good solid week, there was a good solid week and a half to 2 weeks when I had to fight that spirit.
You gotta fight it, yeah.
That spirit that made me say, go key their car, go burn their house to the ground, go do X, go do Y.
Right.
Make them hurt like you got hurt.
If someone doesn't understand
that was one of the toughest.
That they should be someone that doesn't understand that they should be with you, then they don't deserve you.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And that's fine. Shit
like that happens. It was just the way it happened.
No. Yeah, that was one of the toughest. That was one of the toughest battles I had ever faced, to not let that spirit of anger and vindictiveness take hold of me. The closest I ever got was somebody that I was serious about
Oof.
back in high school days was literally led away from me by someone. It was another girl.
Sure.
By someone who was considered a friend.
Did you have the same story that I did?
Well, it wasn't. What I think happened was that this friend, who was my friend and the person I was interested in was her friend too.
Sure.
I think she was jealous of our relationship. Now, to look back on it now, I think she was jealous of our relationship. Not that she wanted me, but we were happy.
Yeah,
we were in a productive relationship, and I think she literally worked to pull us apart because we had a relationship she wanted, didn't have.
It wasn't that she had anything personal against her or you.
Or me.
It was just the fact that you were happy and you were in a productive...
We were in a productive relationship.
And she wanted the productivity, not necessarily you
I was away at college,
whatever.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she had the person that I was interested in, she had her ear more regularly than I did at that time. And I think
oh my God.
I think she was instrumental in pulling her away from our relationship. That's what I think.
Oh my God.
That's weird how people are. It's
that's
like
that's kind of similar to what happened.
Misery loves company.
How the fuck? How does shit happen like that?
I don't know. It's weird.
I know it's not the exact. I know
well,
it is
I mean,
not
there
the
are
exact
people in
same
this
thing
world.
that happened
Yeah,
to you.
but there are people in this world. They're like, if I'm not happy, nobody's happy. So I'm going to try to tear up everything.
Yeah, I knew a person.
And
like
then see, they will even look at you, who has been nothing but their friend and honest.
Yeah.
Okay, but they envy you so much because they're not. They want to be like you.
Probably because if I was also a piece of shit, they wouldn't have said anything.
Would have said nothing. Yeah. It's very interesting. The human dynamics in relationships is very, very, I think it's quite common actually. And that's why, and I can tell you personally to be, when me and the matriarch first got married, I mean, there was this constant barrage of her family, my family, her friends, my friends, because
you knew better.
Well, I really only had like 2 or 3 people that I would call friend, and even at least 1 or 2 of those was like, okay, man, you're too drunk today. Let me go home.
Yeah, I've been there.
So they see something functional taking place in front of them, they just want to destroy it. It's really weird. It's this insecurity that people have.
Yeah, this is why I'm trying to get better friends.
Well,
like you remember a couple months ago, I talked about.
I mean, honestly and truly, I don't know if you. I mean, it's like if you had a recipe in front of you and you were holding it up, and you go, okay, well, you meet this requirement and this requirement and this requirement.
No. I don't mean that. I don't mean. Well, here's the thing. I don't mean I need to go out and find like the positive human versions of SpongeBob, like I had initially. That person.
Which would be nice.
Oh my God, it'd be so nice. I would get annoyed at some point, and I'd tell him to stop, but I want that person. That person No. That person that says, today is the greatest day ever. You say that every day, and it's always true. That person.
Yeah.
I want to be friends with that person.
Yeah, I want to be friends with that person, too.
Yes.
I really do.
Yeah, yes, they're going to get fucking annoying. Well, guess what? I'd rather put up with that than someone who would introduce me to a guy and then like 3 to 5 months later steal him back. It's like, what? What the fuck? You know what I mean?
Right.
Just to put a personal example.
No, I didn't know that she was the one that introduced you to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's slow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's slow.
Yeah, you see why I was so pissed off?
Yeah. Well, you would have been pissed off regardless.
Well, I would have.
But
she literally put me and him in the same room. We started talking about Hannibal Lecter. That was literally... You know what's so fucked up?
Yeah. What?
The first conversation we ever had and the last conversation we ever had was talking about Hannibal Lecter.
All right.
And the reason I point that out is because
you and the guys are weirdos.
Well, hey, I like the movies. And,
I do too, but who now pops that out in the middle of a conversation? But anyway,
we just got talking about it because I was in the middle of watching the TV show, and I keep telling people like I tell people to watch the Hannibal show just because of how batshit insane it is after the first 5 to 6 episodes.
Yeah.
The first 5 to 6 episodes are just kind of gory, but it's kind of slow and drawn out.
Stop it.
I know.
You're not drawing me into another conversation about that show.
I know that.
And I respect the show, and I respect you for watching it. However, we've covered that ground.
It is batshit insane. And the reason I bring that up is because now what's happened is the next time I get into like a conversation with whomever, I'm gonna be paying attention to shit like that.
Sure.
I don't mean the Hannibal Lecter part. I
know.
The whole,
well, see, now you kind of know what to look for.
Now, I just mean the whole thing about me and a potential whomever. We start talking about. I don't fucking know the now.
Well, something similar. I
was gonna say the Oakland Raiders, but now it's the fucking Las Vegas Raiders. And then several months down the line, we talk about the Raiders again, and now I'm gonna be like, what? Just point and just start screaming no, and they're gonna look at me weird what the hell is wrong with you? And then I have to tell them,
shut the fuck up, man.
Shut the fuck up. It's the first thing we ever started talking about was the Las Vegas Raiders, and now 3 months later we're talking about it again. This is a bad omen. You cannot convince me. Sorry,
that right there is the reason a lot of relationships don't make it. It's because baggage people get from relationships they've had prior.
No. I acknowledge that.
One bad apple spoils the whole bunch.
No, I acknowledge that. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
If I explain it to the person.
Right.
And they don't look at me weird.
Yeah.
They don't go, you're fucking crazy. They just kind of go, okay, I get it, but that's not going to happen. Then it might not happen.
Might not.
Because that's kind of that's kind of like a testing the waters.
I don't know. People are weird.
I don't know. People are fucking weird. But at the very least, I don't get weird with people just because of dreams I had.
All right.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I know people that do that, and I don't like them.
I had a similar experience with me and the matriarch.
Mm-hmm.
See, because I was dating her best friend.
Yeah.
And then she got really sideways on me, and we knew that our relation, based on the conversation that was taking place, we knew that our relationship was going to come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And then she made a comment about, why don't you just date
the matriarch?
The matriarch.
Yeah.
She mentioned her name, and I always thought she was cute. And I was like, all right.
All right, cool, bro. Cool. I'll do that.
I thought it was like permission. But then, after we started dating and the relationship began to turn on a positive spin.
Now all of a
sudden, she was trying to cause trouble and break us up. And it was just so weird. It was like, why are you angry with, she was furious with me that I had decided, that I actually found happiness dating someone. She said, well, why don't you date her?
Yeah.
And I was like,
okay.
I really never thought about it, but yeah.
Sometimes sometimes shit like that is how the world spins.
It is. I don't understand it at all.
I don't either.
You gave me permission, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're pissed because it's working out. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't understand people when it comes to stuff like that. Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. I don't know, man.
Don't get mad at me because I follow your advice and it works out.
Yeah. How about that?
So hey.
Okay.
So it did happen to me
in a certain context.
Yeah, in a certain context.
Yeah.
I met the matriarch without that other person being there. Sure. But then I found out
they just planted a seed.
Yeah.
Sure.
They were best friends and all that.
Yeah, it happens. So.
Of course, when she tried to break us up,
How'd that go?
The matriarch.
I still remember the story. No, I still remember the story of her like trying to rip a car door open to get at somebody. So I would not doubt that some shit went down.
No. And, and I can remember during that time, I mean, I was a little bit older than the matriarch, so I had a little more, a little more wisdom, a little more life experience. And, but both of us were very confused. It was like, okay, you sanctioned this.
And now you
actually promoted it.
And now you want to take it back.
And now you want it to go away.
Yeah. That's basically what happened to me.
Yeah. So I don't
know. And I didn't think about that whole thing about essentially getting fucking hazed and me just having this huge weight of crushing loneliness because I'm just not in the mood to reach out to a lot of folk.
Yeah.
Well, reach out to, yes, but not like... I want to hang out with you on a regular basis type of friend, which I don't want anyway. Well, yes, but no.
Yes, but no.
Like, I would like a person that I
tried it.
Yeah.
I tried it a bunch of times with a couple of different people who I still, they're still special to me.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe I just needed... I was looking for, as far as friendship.
Sure.
Not necessarily a relationship, but as far as friendship.
Yeah.
I was looking, being an only child, I was looking at more of a brother-sister kind of, that's the relationship that if I get close with somebody.
That's kind of what
it is.
No, and that's cool. That's fine. No, I mean like someone that, for me personally, be someone that, I'm like, hey, we got nothing to do on Friday. You just want to go to this joint and like catch up and go eat lunch at this place, that type of thing.
Right.
Here's the thing: I don't want to do that all the fucking time because I like my me time.
Yeah.
I got video games to play.
Well, there's certain people. I
got charts to look at.
I'm gonna tell you something, and you're not going to realize this till you get up. I mean, you're going to understand what I'm going to say, but you're not going to truly grasp it until you get about 20
a lot like
older.
A lot of things in my life.
And it's nothing versus you. I mean, there's just certain things you don't, until you hit 40, you just don't understand. I mean, it's
guess
like,
that's fine. No. I'm not mad at shit like that.
Right.
I don't get mad at stuff like that.
If you're 5'4", you don't know what it feels like to dunk a basketball.
True.
As a rule of thumb.
Unless you're that one guy.
So that's all it is. But what you begin to realize is that I'm not saying those relationships are overrated.
Yeah.
It's just
moderation is key.
Moderation is definitely key.
Mm-hmm.
And I can, everybody, we got close to, the matriarch and I got close to some people when we were living out in California that were around our own age, and it seemed pretty functional, but there was a little red flag that would pop up every now and then. And then, the long story short is that the people that we were friends with, as long as their existence was stable in the same house, in the same jobs, in the same routine,
when times were good.
When times were basically good, we had a decent relationship. And then things started to change and put pressure on, and life began to put pressure on them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I say a lot of times. People say, well, I know who if I came out of a dysfunctional background, I know who I am and I can get away. Well, you don't know. How old are you? 20. Well, you don't know as a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
99.9% of the time, you're a different person at 40 than you are at 20.
Durr.
As a rule.
Durr. Yes.
And some people are just better or worse versions of their 20-year-old self.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why you have to really look at the history of who you're dealing with.
Yes.
It's not saying that, they can't.
They can't overcome it.
They can't overcome it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and it's hard when you have the ability to measure that sort of thing as an individual.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
Because it kind of, it controls your involvement with them.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
And I don't want to mean to say like, oh, you've been burned, so you're always going to be careful in a relationship.
No.
But
you have to heal.
But there's always that part that's lurking in the back.
Yeah. No, I get it. That was part of the reason for me getting into the last relationship I did. I know you and the major did not care for it, but there was purpose to it.
Oh, I understand.
Like I said, I had been around guys my age, little younger, little older, but kind of within the same age range as me. So I went, okay, what's at the other end of the spectrum? Let's see what where that takes me. So now I've got the broad spectrum from one extreme to the next.
And you just have one example. I'm not saying
that's
all that.
That's good enough.
Well, it's like
I don't think
I have a coworker that's been married 6 times. I'm not going to take relationship advice from this person.
Yeah, that's fair.
I love them to death. I love working with them.
I think I met them like once.
Probably.
Or I've seen them once.
Yeah. But I'm not going to, you don't. If you can say, I love you and I love you till I die to 6 different people and they're still alive, I got an issue with that.
I tell you what.
I just do.
No, I tell you what you can learn from that person.
What's that?
What not to do.
Yeah, what not to do.
And sometimes that is fine.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying my definition of love is better or worse, but
chill.
I'm not going to, so far as how the affection that I have for the matriarch.
Yeah.
I can't see running into that 5 or 6 times. I just don't. No, I just don't think it's possible.
No.
I mean, you can't. I can't bond with like that on that level. That many times.
No.
Make it official and go before the preacher.
That's actually kind of this is actually going to segue into
I'm not slamming people that do it, but
sure.
I'm just not wired that way.
This is actually going to segue into something that's kind of been on the wheel of death for probably
2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually kind of my main issue. That's kind of one of my main issues with polyamory.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same mechanics, except marriage usually isn't involved. That's polygamy.
Well,
and I don't want to get too deep into it because we can get very deep into this.
Polyamory is like professional sports. Sooner or later, your body's not going to allow you to continue to do what you're doing.
Oh, I know that.
And even if you want to, the people around you are going to go, ugh.
Oh, I know that.
You're too old to be here anymore, and you need to go away.
Yeah, no, I know that. One of my
it's a pretty sad ending, actually.
Yeah, one of my ex boss, one of the really cool ones. He and his wife are engaged in that.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I got no issues with them. They conduct themselves in a very, very pristine manner. It's not like swingers where it can kind of get hairy, both figuratively and literally.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
I know you had best. So for the longest time, I just kept every time I would go to that particular game night, I would be the only person that wasn't in a poly relationship, and I'd just be kind of standing in the background, kind of like. I've said this to you many times. I don't think I've said this on podcast, and I do not mean it the way it sounds.
Yeah.
Whenever I would go to these game nights, these Dungeons & Dragons nights with this particular group of polyamory folk, as the non-poly person, it would almost be like I'm filming for National Geographic. I don't mean it in the sense of these people are fucking animals and I am just a third-person bystander. I am the David Attenborough of this game night.
You're the narrator.
Yeah, it's not that. I was a third-party observer into the dynamics of this particular polycule, as it is known. and I observed.
You got to observe
the dynamics therein.
The successes and the failures.
Yes, that is what I mean. I don't mean it in a negative way. No. I mean it in the way of I'm outside of the group in this perspective, so I'm going to focus in and see what the hype is about.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it is a goddamn train wreck.
It really is.
Like, taking that aspect you were talking about your coworker being married 6 times, being that type of bonded to 6 different people
right.
at different times.
Right.
Now, I want you to apply it to 6 different people at the same time.
I love you. And you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you.
It's like Oprah. You get a poly partner. You get a poly partner. Everybody gets a poly partner. And it's like, guys, how do you keep up with this shit?
You know what's so crazy about it is actually they look at that type of thing as empowering. But they don't realize that it's bondage. It's really interesting. It does not empower you. It just doesn't.
Yeah, because my former boss, who I'm still sort of kind of friends with, last I heard, the thing that not only was the thing that they were having, but I think, I don't want to get too deep into tea because this is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
I'm also not 100% sure if he listens to the podcast, and I don't want to wake up to a phone call of him tell me to knock it the fuck off with talking about it. I think he and his wife might be getting separated.
That happens.
Yeah, I know that happens. I'm just like, guys?
If you exchange fluids with other people,
look, I'm not looking down on the situation. I'm just like, guys?
Yeah, it's...
you know what I mean?
I don't understand where people think the outcome is going to end up.
I don't know.
I mean, I used to look down my nose at people like
Sure.
that, and now I understand that a lot of it is human frailty and insecurity, and growing older has given me I would love to say maturity.
No.
Not really.
More like perspective.
I just don't have...
I would rather...
I don't have the energy to be a stone cold asshole all the time.
No, man, fuck that.
So I have to blame.
Like, I get it. I'd rather have I would rather have wisdom and perspective than maturity because I am just now starting to get into the mindset of being pissed off and angry at the world, like I probably should have been as a teenager. But see, now I'm doing it now.
You know, it's kind of like people get into relationships and then they get in these polyamorous relationships. All they've ever known is the failure of relationships. So they're kind of like...
I just don't understand where the whole doubling down comes into play.
It's like a diabetic locked up in a candy shop. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to get out of here for another 12 hours. I'm going to end up in the hospital anyway. I'm going to eat everything in sight.
Yeah, that's fair. Because otherwise,
they're already their expectation is already to end up in a failed relationship. So
they're going to double down.
They're going to try to grab all the quote unquote gusto they can before everything crashes. I guess. I don't.
It's not for me.
No, it's not for me either. It's like getting on a boat that's got a hole in it.
Sure.
It's like getting in a rowboat with a hole in it.
Look,
it's going to take you down sooner or later.
Yeah,
okay? You can row as hard as you want.
I'm sure in other places where the cultural differences and the cultural rules are different,
right.
It does work because the way they apply themselves to it is different. And I'm not talking about Mormons. I mean like other countries and other cultures, not just purely in North America.
Sure.
But here and now, the way it's kind of circulating at best...
Yeah.
It's a bunch of people who just kind of casually hang out and make out, just kind of in the same room talking to each other. That's the best case scenario. And at worst, it is essentially cuckoldry with extra steps, at the worst. And it's like, how do you find this balance between the two? Or if any, or not at all?
Well, I honestly and truly, I think that an individual and this doesn't have anything to do with gender or what type of equipment you're born with. I
Not
think
really.
as an individual, I think you want someone. Honestly and truly, I think you want someone to be an ass about it and go, "What? What are you talking about? No. You and I are not going to engage in this type of behavior."
Sure.
You want someone who values that much not to shit. I think that's what everybody wants. I think that's what everybody deserves.
Sure.
Is someone to be
like,
and
no.
I've been on the wrong side of this fence too. Okay,
Sure.
I'm not pointing fingers. I've definitely have not made good decisions. But you want someone that's devoted to you.
Yeah.
You know.
Because here's the thing,
you're going to take the time to get involved with somebody on that level.
Sure, of course.
Sure.
Because here's the thing, I'm just going to say it. I don't fucking care who you are. Yeah. I don't fucking care who you are, unless you're like an extreme outlier. The fantasy of having people, partners, just at your pick at your leisure. Put them back when you're done, pick somebody else. The fantasy of it, the idea of it is nice, unless you're an extreme outlier, of course.
Right.
But here's the thing. It should probably stay a fantasy, in my opinion.
Probably.
Because that's not sustainable.
Oh, it really is.
Not unless you're like, what?
That's the whole thing about
royalty or something.
I have people say, hey, you gotta hang up about something in particular, and I've told people, it might look that way.
Sure.
But I understand it.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand what I'm dealing with. I understand. I'm not saying I have complete faith in what I'm doing, but I'm not blind. There are people that will blind themselves. They'll say things to themselves. They'll say things to others to rationalize the options that they engage in, the actions that they take.
But at the end of the day,
you can literally, that's what's so crazy about it. You can literally hear the emptiness of their spirit when they're sharing this type of information. You can feel it, that whatever passion they have for these types of things is completely artificial. You can feel it in their spirit.
Indeed.
Okay. And that's what makes me
sad. It is kind of sad.
It is sad. It is sad, especially so if you're empathic enough to pick up on those types of things, and you can hear them because they're lying to themselves.
Sure.
Okay. And what I want to say about those things to the listener is, you, the individual, you're worth it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're worth it. And demand that people treat you as such.
I'm definitely gonna fucking do that.
Right. And here's the thing. I'm not saying, people say, well, you never find them. No, you're not going to find the perfect person.
No.
But find someone
who's worth the trouble.
Who's worth the trouble, whose passion for you is you.
Is you.
Is you. Okay. And they're out there.
Yes.
They're out there. Okay. Don't let anybody tell you to do it. They're out there.
Yeah, I'm definitely, next time I'm definitely going to be aiming for someone that could possibly compete in World's Strongest Man, because I'm fucking done.
Well, see.
I want, next person is going to be somebody who I can feasibly drop kick and they don't fall over.
Yeah. Because
I get mad and I throw stuff and I need someone to stop me from throwing shit. I'm just saying, look.
I understand.
Look, as me, what would help me is my person is someone who is hopefully about 5 times that level-headed than I am, because sometimes I can just fly off the fucking handle. I blame it on being on the spectrum. At least that's the excuse I like to use. And I just need someone to kind of just pick my dumb ass up and just be like, okay, we're going to the car. We're going to the car. Fucking put me down. God damn it. Fuck.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice.
We all need to keep her.
Yeah. Because I'm tired.
I know I do.
Because I'm tired of being the adult all the time.
Yeah, that's a drag.
I don't mind being the adult.
No, I don't.
I don't want to be the adult 100% of the
All
time.
the time.
That's another reason why I want...
Like if you're always the voice of reason in the crowd you're hanging out with, you need to find other people to hang out with.
Yeah, I very quickly realized that. Yeah. And here's the thing. There's just... like I said, I don't mind being the voice of reason, but sometimes I just want to turn my brain off and act like a fucking lunatic, too.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And I want somebody else to be like, hey, stop that shit. That's kind of why I'm still friends with my ex-boss, is because I would pull some crazy shit back to the warehouse, and he'd be like, hey, stop it. No. Stop it. No.
Smack you on the nose with a newspaper.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I need that every now and then, too.
Yeah, sometimes I want to turn my brain off and be a lunatic. There's nothing wrong with that.
As long as it's not, property damage is not involved.
Oh, I have to fight that rationale, too.
Yeah, I do, too. If I had $1 for every car that I didn't key... I just want to. This passive aggressive bullshit. Fuck you, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna key your car.
Yeah, if we had $1, if both of us had $1 for every time we thought about fucking up someone personal property or them for whatever reason.
Well, you have to weigh how
that's so much money.
Yeah, you have to weigh out what the negative ramifications are. And then you begin to realize that, I'm not going to, it's like, I've said this to myself a number of times. Mm-hmm. I'm very upset by the situation in front of me. I want to clear the room. Yeah. Literally. But.
So you fart.
I'm not going to jail.
Oh, okay.
Now, whenever I get bail money and a lawyer on retainer.
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk around with a big Louisville slugger. Wham!
No, I get it.
But you just see what I would find personally satisfactory is not worth what I'm going to have to deal with by engaging in this action.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Kind of my way of doing that, being this kind of this passive aggressive pissant, as you would.
Sure.
Is typically if I'm just out and about on my own, usually going somewhere. I rarely leave the house unless I have a destination in mind. It's just how I am.
Sure.
I'm not in the financial position where I could just drive literally all day with no destination. Although that would be amazing.
It's coming.
I know. I love to drive. You people don't understand. I fucking love driving. I love driving. I love listening to music while I'm driving. And part of me being, kind of getting that little minute, just kind of getting little minute bits of aggression out of my system is to drive around town, my windows down, not too much because it's fucking cold, windows down, and just blast loud music and just mean mug people on the street.
All right.
Not all the. I don't mean mug people all the time, but I have sunglasses on, and anybody's like looking at me like, "Why are you playing music so loud?" Fuck you, Dave. My name's not Dave. Fuck you, then.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Sure.
So that's just something I like to do, but I want to do it all the fucking day.
Yeah.
I just want to drive. That's kind of why I like doing Ubers, because I get to drive and I get paid for it. But I don't like to do it all the time because it takes me to some fucking shifty places and I don't like it.
Oh, I've been there.
Like not shifty.
It's like, is this a crack house? The windows are boarded up. Is there a hurricane coming?
No, that's my house. Okay. Get the fuck out of my car.
All right.
I'm okay. I don't want you to tell the story to the matriarch, but I have a story about that.
Oh boy.
Please don't.
Don't worry.
Because she's going to get pissed.
No, I'm not going to tell.
Thank you.
Nobody's listening anyway.
There's a couple people are listening. Anyway, okay. I'm going to try to be quiet because I don't want anyone else in this room. I don't want anyone to hear this because I swear to God, I will get a chair thrown at me if this story gets out to my matriarch. The second day of being an Uber driver,
Uh-huh.
The very first person I pick up,
Right.
I go into the city, and I pick this person up from their house. No big deal.
Okay.
Not a big deal. Just drive them back into the city. Went from the outskirts of the city to the inside of it.
Yeah.
I drop them off at the city's parole office.
Yeah.
And when this person gets out of the car, they're wearing an anklet.
Yeah.
The kind of anklet that the house arrest anklet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was the first person of the day that day.
That was it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're fine.
I know. I'm just like,
Well, the first thing you can dismiss about danger is the fact that you picked them up from their house.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would imagine that somebody who is difficult
Sure.
would not, and planning something nefarious.
They wouldn't go from their house.
wouldn't
Oh,
go from
okay,
their
then.
house.
It's just the concept of, I just picked up someone and took them to the parole office. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yeah, that spooked me a little bit. That's not the worst story.
Right.
And here's the thing. I've seen some pretty horrific stories about, being basically a freelance taxi driver as I am.
Pretty much.
And none of those have ever happened to me.
Good.
Like, the worst, quote-unquote, story of anything happening to me, it didn't really happen to me. It happened near me. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Long story short, this couple, I took them from their house to the dollar store back to their house. Not a big deal. That's pretty standard. And they were just calling every mechanic, every auto part dealer, every car aficionado, whatever, to get a brand new transmission for their cars while they were using,
You in the first place.
Yeah, that was why they were calling me in the first place, which that's not a big deal. We've all been there trying to get a part from
Find
the car.
transportation when the car's down, yeah.
Yeah, and trying to find a part for said downed car. That's not a problem. That's fine. I've done it. You've done it.
Sure.
Everybody's done it, some way, shape, or form. Here's the problem. The first thing put me on guard was they were just angry and nasty about it to the people on the phone.
All right.
They weren't talking that trash to me. Thank God, because if they did, I would have kicked them to the curb.
Sure.
But they were just mean and nasty, and it just set me on edge, because, like, hey, wait a minute. I'm just thinking, hey, don't get ugly in my car. You're in my territory, and you're acting like a jackass. But the thing that killed it for me is they weren't just looking for a transmission for they said it was a Jeep.
Uh-huh.
Their Jeep in question was from 1997. And at that point, I was like, as soon as these people get the fuck out of my car, I'm going to one-star them so they can never ride with me again.
Well,
because not only are you just nasty, you're stupid,
if you think you're going to find a transmission
for a 1917...
For a 1997...
97, whatever. And here's the thing.
That doesn't need to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
You're not smart.
No, you're not smart. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it was a Jeep, if it was a Chevy, if it was a Dodge, does not fucking... It was 1997 car. That should have been...
25 years old.
25 years old. Ain't no one... no fucking body outside of, like, automotive collectors, which they're not piecemeal selling their fucking cars.
No, they're not.
You are not getting shit for that car.
No, you're going to take it and have it rebuilt.
Yeah, you're either going to take it or have it rebuilt or sell it for scrap. That's your only option.
That's a $1,500 to $2,000 minimum investment.
Minimum.
Yeah, you're not going to get out of that.
Yeah, and here's the thing, that's my worst story so far.
It's people not understanding what they're involved in.
Yeah, and being mean and disrespectful in my car, and I have to fucking hear about it. Here's the thing. I don't look down on the troubles of others when it comes to stuff like that. You're just doing it but when you're doing it in proximity to me, that's when I get pissed.
Yeah, I mean, there is this element of people who don't understand that, and because they don't understand, they get angry and divisive about it.
Yes.
Because they don't.
Yeah.
They think they have the. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's. I mean, I wouldn't even.
Sure.
I've replaced. I had a vehicle that was a 91.
Yeah.
That I replaced transmission. I
Sure.
had a vehicle that was a 93 that I replaced transmission. But you have to have them rebuilt. Now, you are not going to go find a transmission. I mean, I guess it's possible.
It is possible, but it's astronomical.
Anything that doesn't have a lot of miles on it has been sitting in a junkyard for at least 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, you don't know what the fuck is in there.
And you don't know what's in there. It's going to have to be rebuilt regardless. So,
Indeed.
Yeah, no, they were involved in something they didn't understand.
I don't know. But either way, I desynced with them. I'm not gonna give them rides no more, so that makes me happy.
I don't want anybody raising hell in my car anyway. I could be related to them.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm related to them. I'm telling them, shut up or I'm going to smack
Yeah, my only defense in this case was to be quiet and just hope they leave quickly so that I could collect my money, zero them out, and get the fuck out of Dodge.
Ew.
So, I don't know. Maybe they were having a bad day, but I didn't care. I was on duty, and you're not fucking up my enjoyment of driving.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
So, I feel better.
Good.
Yeah, yesterday was just weird and emotional. Really didn't mean for it to get sideways that bad, but today was better. I think I'm gonna make ramen once we stop recording.
Cool.
I need some comfort food, so. You know how it is.
I do.
Alrighty. So you got anything else, Dad?
I'm good for now. I can get.
Tesla crypto?
Tesla crypto. I don't know. I just rolled across it earlier. It said that Elon Musk is working on digital currency for Tesla.
I'm not surprised.
That would be interesting.
I mean, we'll look at it.
We'll look at it.
Actually, we might want to look at it because coins typically skyrocket when they first get introduced. It may be a way to get.
Oh, you picked up on that too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
from here on out, when you're looking, when you're screening,
yeah,
look for coins that are new.
Yeah. Because
those are the ones that are going to be targeted for these pump and dumps.
I know.
Okay.
So
the other thing
it might be a good way to make a couple bucks. This new Tesla.
See stocks in the stock market. They are in a position to where they're getting ready to roll over. They've already rolled over. Most of them have already rolled over into like a bear market scenario. But the majority of the cryptos are below. I think it's hard to say because like I said, this is all new.
Yeah.
20 years from now, when I'm worth $500 million, I'll understand it better. But right now, I'm trying to figure out where digital currency is going to fit in, and everything that I see.
I will say this: we need to write a book
eventually
about this shit.
Yeah, eventually.
Because here's the thing:
we're not doing anything anybody else can't do.
No, but here's the problem: is a lot of these stock market and crypto trading books, they write it in a very technical sounding voice.
Yeah, they do.
And not everybody has the inner ear for technical writing, which is why a lot of people don't get involved.
That is true.
Because the jargon sucks.
Well, even with
the style of writing is cryptic.
Even with the chaos system, there's so much philosophy involved, and I'm not saying it.
Well, here's the thing.
Why?
I understand philosophy. That's the thing. It's the technical aspect that I don't.
Yeah.
Philosophy is one of my favorite subjects. This is being technical is something different. That's why I say we need to write a book because we will write it in a way that sounds like a normal person talking to you.
Right.
But anyway, you were saying.
So, the stock market's rolling over. The Dow is getting ready to form what's called it's already formed the first shoulder and a head. It's getting ready to form the second shoulder. It's a head and shoulders reversal pattern, which means that the Dow is getting ready to go down. It's not doom and gloom.
No.
Basically, it's a reset.
Yeah, I've already told my clients, look, if you do any sort of like anything like that, don't.
Now is the time to be conservative.
Yeah,
6 months from now will be the time to be not conservative.
Sure, and that's where we're going to throw our weights around.
We're going to throw our weight into. And it's just a natural, and there isn't, and the longer, I can't tell you the number, and I have read probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 50 different stock books.
Yes.
And the top of the line ones I own. One's
Chaos Trading. The other one's the one on my shelf.
Well, it's the one on your shelf. I have some other books. Got 2 books.
One right there. The how to sell short.
Yeah, that is the definitive Bible on how to short process.
Which we need to go through because I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
It doesn't matter. Just be patient. There's always next year.
I know. I'm just looking through it and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no frame of reference for this.
And the same thing happened to me the first time I cracked.
Sure, that's not a problem.
It just takes time.
Your annotated notes help, by the way. See what I mean by technical versus non-technical writing? Anyway, so.
But the crypto market actually is...
Would you say it's stable?
I don't know. Well...
Does CIX have anything to consider? CIX is the crypto index, like a Dow, or the salt and pepper or S&P. I call it the salt and pepper.
The CIX is definitely going to show you the bottom when it turns. But I think the crypto market may turn bullish before the rest of the stock market turns bullish.
We're about to find out.
We're about to find out.
Because I don't know what the fuck.
Of course, everything is going down.
I know how we could tell.
How?
This is just a theory. You remember the recession in 2008?
Yeah.
You showed me the Dow Jones, how it just had a death cross for at least 11 months.
Right.
What if we look back and see what Ethereum and Bitcoin did during the year 2008, during that same time?
I mean, it's worth looking at, although 2008 was basically when Bitcoin arrived.
But you still understand what I'm getting at.
I do.
Right?
I know what you're saying.
Like, it's a definitive period where the stock market and the crypto market existed at the same time. Yes, it was relatively new-ish.
Yeah.
In its infancy. But it might give us a clue to see how it would do.
Well, I think the dynamic that I'm really trying to understand figure out is how much faith people have in crypto.
We're about to
find out.
Yeah. Are we running out of tape? I'm just curious.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
No worries.
I just need to know if we need to wrap it up.
No, yeah, we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
What was I going to say? The
crypto market. Faith in the crypto coins.
So, it's going to happen.
Something will happen.
Something will happen. Let me take a look at this.
Okay. Who the fuck is texting me?
Index. Yeah. The Dow is once it breaks 34. Once it breaks 34. It's not going to stop until it hits. It's going to hop around 30, 31. And then when I don't know. I mean, everything's just going to go down right now. And it's just a natural cycle. You got all these news reports about the Fed, this, that, and the other thing. Don't pay this stuff any attention.
Of course.
The market is acting according to what the market does. And news organizations try to attach meaning to it.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay. You can only prop up the market for so long. There's been so much money printed in 2021 that was dropped into the market that drove it up. There's like, oh, this is the greatest market since 1984. Yeah, but it's artificially inflated by the Fed printing money. But anyway.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? That's a show for another time. All right. I think that'll do it for me.
All right, cool, because I want some fucking ramen.
Yeah, I'm hungry too.
I'm hungry. All right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's it, folks. I was your host, Bel-E.
And I was your co-host, Mr. Scratch.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Bye.